Welcome everyone to our special event today, which is Tableau server training. And we are so excited that you are joining us either live or later on our recording. So thanks for being here. Lindsay James from USBE is going to be leading our training today. So we will turn the time over to her and her team. And as I mentioned, Lindsay, I'll just watch chat and let you know if there's anything over there.
Perfect. Thank you, Marie. Okay, so we're going to start out by looking at Data Gateway and just showing you the dashboards that are available public facing on Data Gateway. So I'm just going to go to that first. And you guys can see that, right, Marie?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so the first one we have is the Compare Schools. And this is a dashboard that existed before, but it just now has been built out in Tableau. And it's got your school that you can choose for your comparison, right? And then we also have the school now listed at the top. So it's not just the reference line, it's also the top school. Oh, that was a bad example. And then we have percent proficient, and I believe we have MGP. So that is the first one that we have. I don't think these ones are, right? Yeah, those are the old ones still. Okay, so then we go to ACT. This is based on the 11th grade ACT testing session. And we have a state level 1. And you can navigate to district up here or on the bar. So if you wanted like Park City District, then it would go to Park Cities. And now it's showing this data for Park City District instead of the state as a whole. This is the composite score, the number of students with each composite score, and then the average composite score over time. 2020 is not included in here because end sizes were so different. And then Utah Aspire Plus. This is aggregated or combined, 9th and 10th grade combined. And then this is the distribution of the composite scale scores by 9th and 10th, and then predicted ACT by 9th and 10th, and then proficiency by 9th and 10th. So where this is the composite score combined, 9th and 10th combined, and then it breaks it out for you. This one also has features where you can drill down to LEA, but also you can do students with disabilities, English learners, and economically disadvantaged students, similar to what you can do on the student proficiency visualization in Data Gateway. And then let's see, early college. So this will only be for those that have 9th through 12th grade. This doesn't have honors courses or gifted talented courses in it. And it's state and LEA level. This is the percent of each student group that took at least one of these courses during that school year. And then if you go to the LEA level, it's the same thing, but you can choose your LEA. Since it's public, these are masked at less than 10. So if you go to a large district, you're going to see that most of them have data, but your smaller districts won't. Okay, school climate survey dashboard. This one is actually not Tableau, but this is actually Qualtrics, but it's on there. we won't really go over that one. And then state graduation rate.
Lindsay, there's a question in chat. Will the RISE data be updated as well?
So RISE is the student proficiency one, and our IT team, I believe, is taking care of that. Is that correct, Aaron? I don't think that one will actually be done in Tableau.
That's correct for the time being, because of its the data gateway controls for teachers to be able to log in, where our current Tableau server, we don't have that capability set up yet. So yes, for right now, the RISE proficiency one is just going to be its regular format. It may be updated in the future. It has a lot to do with permission levels.
Did that answer the question, Marie?
I believe so.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, and on the state graduation rate, we also have counties down here, county graduation rates and county dropout rates. So you can see what the graduation rate was for each of at the county level, not just the state level. And then I think that's the last one, because early literacy is also not Tableau. Are there questions about any of the dashboards? Okay, let's see. That's good. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let David share, and he's just going to show you how to get to our Tableau public, just to see a couple that we have available that don't necessarily have to do with assessments.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we have the ones that Lindsay showed from the data gateway are actually just pulling directly from Tableau Public. So if you were to go to public.tableau.com and search for data and statistics, you could actually just go and see all of them right there. So here's a list of all the ones that are currently available publicly. Really the only one that's not, I guess there are a couple, and I don't know that this one will be showing. It shows, oh, maybe it does. This is called the Opportunity to Learn. It was this last year when students were asked these particular questions about how they feel about their learning over the past year, and you can see by LEA.
David, there's a question. They're wondering if you can post the link in the chat.
Yeah, I can do that.
I can put that in there right now, David, while you show.
Okay, that's fine. So this is the public facing view. There are a couple other ones that are currently on the USB's website. This is one of them. Right now, it's when we built it, we didn't have a profile that was data and statistics, but so it's on my profile, public profile, but it shows COVID relief funding, and you can look at it by districts or charters or even private schools. If it will work. And you can go and you can look at your at a given LEA. You can click on that, and you can see here where the funding was coming from and where it went on the other side here. So, and then if you go to the other side, you say, oh, well, how much was spent for supplies and materials and where did it come from? It will highlight where it goes from to the different funding sources. So those are the two different ones. Do you have a link to this, Lindsay, that you could send it out?
I just put the link to
Okay.
your page as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Now we'll go over a little bit about logging in and what to do on the Tableau server. So most anybody that we've given access to, we have to grant access to be in our system through Azure, and anybody, it's not a link directly from, say, Lindsay or myself. It comes from Microsoft, and it's kind of generic. You can add a message, but sometimes it goes to trash. So as we start adding new people, you'll want to make sure that we're looking for that. There are other issues that people have had, such as firewall issues of being able to get access. But once all the issues are resolved, you can go to this website. This is tableau.schools.utah.gov. And this is the main page. Now, if it's your first time logging into the server, obviously you wouldn't see the recent or recommendations, but you'll see the banner across the top here welcoming you to the Tableau site. The best way to navigate is to go to Explore on the left-hand side. The folder that LEAs will be able to see is this one, called the LEA folder. And inside of there, if you click that, we have several projects that are currently available. This is the early college dashboard, but allowing people to drill down from not just looking at the LEA level, but as school level, I believe. Is that correct, Lindsay?
Yeah, it goes down to the school level.
Okay. There is a student growth dashboard. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the different pages. The way that it's set up, if you click on the state level, that's where I would recommend starting. You can see at the state level, this is very similar to what was originally on the gateway, where you can then choose to look at it by test or any of these other subgroups. And then if you want to look, well, let's go back here to schools. You can actually highlight right here, look for a particular school. You can either scroll through the list to find it, or you can actually just type it in. And you can see all the different schools. Then you can, here, there's a button that you can go down to the district level. And so you can see all the districts. We don't have the highlight on here. Maybe that's something we should probably add to it. But let's say you want to click on a district. What's going on? Oh, that's something we should check out, because it should take it down to the student level, or not the student level, the school level. So I'll have to verify that this is working properly. But once that's done, then you can click on a district, look at the schools, and then it should take you also to, you can click on a school and look at students if you've been granted access. Let's go back to the LEA folder. There's a folder in there called SIR files. And all that's in there are, other than this one, which is a view of subscores for RISE, these are just views into tables within our database. So let's say you wanted to look at your schools, the way that it's set up, as your input into the server, we put you into a group. So when you connect the data, the Tableau server will look to see if you're in a particular group, and if you are in that group, you'll be able to see data for that group. First thing you would want to do to start exploring the data, there's a button under the title of the folder called New. You can click on New Workbook. That'll open a new window, and it will ask you, okay, what data do you want to connect to? Well, you won't necessarily see all of these, but there'll be ones in there, and it will tell you the location. They should be in the SIR files folder. And we've got one here called Sage Student Tests. So if we connect to that, you can see on the
David,
side
there's
here.
a question about how do schools get access to this data? And another comment, just that the screen is really small. Wondering if you can zoom in. So 2 questions, can you zoom in? And how do schools get access to be able to use this data?
Yeah. Is that easier to see now?
A little bit, if you could go a little more zoom, I think everyone would. Yeah, that looks great.
Okay. So right now, this is one of the things that we're working on for schools to get access to. But the hard part about that at the moment is that Lindsay or myself has to go in and manually add people to Azure and then add them to the server. We're working on getting it connected into the security portion of the data gateway so that it's easier to facilitate. But as of right now, it's kind of a slow rollout. But if there are people that you want to grant access to so they can see it, most LEAs, if the assessment directors can see them, there's some with early college. Am I missing anybody, Lindsay?
Those are the main people we have so far. We've been working on CTE, and principals is what we're working on at this point. But the people that have had it have been like assessment directors and early college.
That
So if
answer.
folks want to be added, should they just email you and Lindsay? Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, Lindsay and I are the ones that would control access to the server. So you can reach out to Lindsay or myself.
Perfect. I'll drop your emails in our chat.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. So as you can see on the left-hand side here, once you've connected to the data, you can see all of the available columns. So in this particular case, let's say you wanted to look at student level data. I'm not necessarily going to show it because as a state level user, I wouldn't want to show everybody, but I can kind of show you the basics of what you would want to do in order to you could then download a CSV file that would allow you to then work with it on your end. If you didn't want to do it here as a workbook. As a side note to that, most people we've granted access to explore, but not at the moment to publish to the server. That might be something that we'll be adding later. So we'll give some people access to be able to publish views up from the LEAs into our Tableau server. But as of right now, most everybody's just set to be able to explore the data. If you want to be able to download it and look at it in your own system, I'll show you how to do that. So let's just say LEA name. And let's choose school name. And we can take subject area. And then you could, so down here, you notice there's 2 different colors, right? There's a blue, these are called dimensions. And then there's pills that are called green, or that are green, that are called measures. Excuse me. You can then choose a measure. Like for example, you could choose this, you can bring it over. Here, I right click on it and drag it over to columns. You can choose your level of aggregation. In this case, I'm going to take median. and then it does that. You can even, if you don't want it to be a bar, you just want to see the values, you can put it on, label. Let's take it off of there. And then you see the MGP by subject area. Let's say you want to download this. There's a little button up here called right here, the second to the last, called download. I think we've only given access to a couple of these. So you can click here and click on data. It'll open up a new window. Make this bigger so you can see it. So essentially what it would, you could see the summary, and the summary and the full data set should look pretty similar. This looks like it's disaggregated. So you'd probably want to click here if you wanted to see, like in this case, the MGPs. And then right here at the top, there's a button that says, click and drag, download it as a text file, and it's a .csv file. Any questions so far?
I don't see any questions in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to see, or did you want me to cover, Lindsay?
No, I think we'll let them open it up and I can show them how to do a different, some bar graphs and things like that.
Okay.
If that's what, unless no one wants that, but I can do that. And then we can see if there's any questions.
Great idea.
Okay.
And then there was a question, is this data only school level, or can you look at individual student growth over time?
So this is, it's the Sage student test folder. So it's by students subject area, like students test subject area. So it was only at school level because that's what David dragged onto the bar was LEA name and school name. If you had by student, then it would be by student.
Yeah, there's actually the one of the columns that you can look at is SSID. So you could pull that out onto your view. You'd want to put it on either the columns or rows, and then you could aggregate it at the different levels. You could see, you could definitely do that, track at an individual level over time. The Sage student test table is actually back to 2014. So you could see everything from 2014 through 2021 right now.
David, is your screen supposed to be on? Your share screen?
No, I'm gonna share mine.
Yeah,
So I think he stopped sharing.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so I put the website in the chat too, in case you didn't see it, but it's tableau.schools.utah.gov. So you'll want to go there. And if we've told you that you have a login or whatever, you should be able to log in at this time. Okay, and then once you log in, you should see this compass over on the left side, or if you have it larger, it will actually say explore, but you're going to want to click that, the explore. And then how David showed you, LEA folder and surf files. I'll give everyone a second to get there.
There is a question. Someone's having trouble with, it only lets them log in as incognito. They said they've had username problems at the beginning. They've tried to work on cookies, etc., but they're not having luck. Could either Lindsay or David send instructions on how to reset the regular browser?
So like clearing the cache, is that what they're asking?
I can jump in. This is Emily. I'm not sure what we need to do, but it's trying to log in and it was not created under the correct email address to begin with. And so I think it's trying to log in with the wrong email address still. And I've tried different things to reset cookies and haven't been able to get it to reset so that I can put in the correct user ID.
So you can try a different browser. People I hear have like better luck with Edge, not caching things, but you can also just go, like I'm on Chrome and I go over here to the like vertical ellipses. And now I'm not gonna be able to find it now that I'm here and have it open.
What's the
Sorry,
email
David.
address that it should be?
Oh, history,
It's
right?
correct now. I'm able to log in incognito now, but the correct email is emily.bejarano instead of Emily at. And we can talk about this after the meeting unless others are having problems too.
So I mean, I guarantee that everyone will have to do this throughout their process because Azure tends to cache the usernames and passwords. Yours, if it's actually a different email address in, then that would be the one that it would be wanting it to use. But if you change your email password,
Is
or
the
if you're
email
just
address.
yeah, but just for everyone in general, if you change your email password or if you're getting this error, you're going to have to clear your cache or use an incognito window or use a different browser, because Azure just holds on to them and then it won't let you in. So yeah, and David, now I'm not seeing where I clear it.
Go to settings.
Oh, right here, clear browsing. It's under
right
more
there, that works
tools.
too.
It's under more tools. Clear browsing data. And basically, you can do all time, last 4 weeks. Like I just have to do this every once in a while. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have to re-log in. But you're probably going to have to do that just because of the way Azure works.
I tried that actually, but I can try it again.
Yours is different because if you have a different email address in, it's not going to let you log in with the other one. But for anyone that just changes their password, that should solve the problem. Okay, David, are you looking at hers?
Yeah, I'm currently looking at.
Okay.
But it looks like it's correct. It's emily.bejarano@academicawest.com.
Right, and at the beginning, it was just Emily at. We had the Emily at email address before we had Microsoft 365. So the emily.bejarano is my Microsoft 365 login.
Okay. So now we're going to go like where David went, new workbook up here. And connect to data. We're going to use Sage student tests again. Okay, and the first one I thought we would look at is just a bar chart. And like David said, you can't publish if we get to the point where we give a publisher permissions to like 1 or 2 individuals in an LEA, then you could share something and it would only be visible to people that had permissions for your LEA. But for right now, you would just have to like export it, or you could screenshot it, or just share it on your screen if you were using it for that purpose. Okay, let me now find what I need.
Can you go back, Lindsay, to show how you got to this point?
Yeah, I can. Maybe.
It should be just, yeah, it opened up another window. There you go.
Okay, so we came to explore once we got in, and then went to the LEA folder right here. And then we went to surf files, and then new workbook. And then it pops up and it wants you to choose the data source you're going to connect to. We're going to connect to this one down at the bottom. Maybe. Is that the right one, David, or do I want this one up here?
They wouldn't see that particular one. It's the one down there.
It's the hyper one. Okay. And then, so yours, we have a filter put in here, so you only see your LEA's data. So while David and I show you, like he could show you, right, like all the LEAs, and if I just do it at the state level, it's going to aggregate all the LEAs. Yours only has data for your LEA in it. So numbers won't match. I am going to put school year up here. I'm going to put school year on the filter. And I'm only going to show 2021 right now. That's all I want to look at. Is everyone following along with that so far? Okay. Sure. Okay, Julie, did you get there when I went back through, or do you want me to show you? You can't pick a school year. Okay, so when you drag it onto filters, did it bring up a box with the school years? Okay, so do you have a caret right here that you can click on and then hit edit filter or show filter?
It's easier for me to just pop on and just talk. No, it's just school year. There's no little caret. There's no pull down menu. There's nothing. So I moved school year over to the filter, but it just says school year still.
Okay, when you drag school year to columns, what years does it show you?
Okay, let me try that. Hold on, sorry. Okay, I do get a thing there. Okay, let me pick it up and move it to filters again. Maybe I just, I don't know. That's weird because I do get it there. Hold on. Oh, wait, when I do that,
Did it pop up?
Sorry, it pops up, but it doesn't give me a school year. It says filter, filter show filter, show highlight, sort, but it doesn't give me an option of a year.
Okay, so do show filter.
Okay.
And then when you do show filter, it should pop up over here on the side.
Okay. Yep.
Do you get that?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. I'm so sorry. I'm totally not knowing what I'm doing here.
No,
So
you guys are fine. Like, the questions are good. We want you guys to know how to use this.
I appreciate it. Thanks everyone
Yeah.
for bearing with me.
So the way that the Tableau will default is that it can let you select multiple, right? So the square box means that it's going to let you make multiple selections, and it's going to also automatically add an option for all. Unfortunately, the all doesn't go away on online. But so just be aware that when you're using all, it is going to aggregate all your school years together. If you only want to be able to select one school year at a time or all, then you click that caret on school year and go to single value drop down or single value list. I prefer drop down just because it takes up less space. And then I'm going to change it to 2021. Okay, is everyone doing okay still? Make sure I can chat. I don't have anything. Okay, then at that point, I am going to, I'm just going to look at subject area right now. And I want a proficiency level on here. And then on my marks, I'm going to switch to a bar chart. And I picked the wrong one. That's why. Sorry, drag that off. No, that was the right one, right, David?
Yeah, the problem is it sees it as a
It's seeing it as a dimension.
dimension. The other option is you've got is proficient right there.
Right there. Okay, so here we can do this.
Lindsay, we have another request to maybe zoom in a little bit if possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So if you click on the caret on is proficient, it's on your rows shelf there.
And then we can change it to measure.
Measure.
And we want it to be the sum. Oh, not the sum. Let's do the average. Okay. And then we can change. Ooh, although. Here we go. Format number. We can make it a percentage. Okay. So, did everyone see how we did that? Do I need to do it again?
I think if you repeat it, that would probably be helpful.
Yes,
Okay.
please do it again. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. So I'm just gonna go, I'm just basically gonna undo what I just did.
Just go to worksheet, Lindsay.
Oh, okay, 1 second.
Up
It's
at the
kinda
top.
freezing for a second. Okay.
When you can do clear.
Oh, clear sheet. Okay, yeah, we can start over.
Start over.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna drag school year up again to our filters. Hit OK, and then we're gonna show. This is where I put the caret and I changed it to a single value drop down and I selected 2021. Like David said, though, we can go back to 2014. Then I'm going to put subject area up here on the columns. And then is proficient, I'm going to put on rows. I'm going to change my marks to a bar. And then I'm going to go back to my is proficient pill and click the caret. Change it from a dimension to a measure. And then change that to an average. Okay. Then I can hit that caret again and go to format number. And I'm going to change it from automatic to a percentage. And I'm going to take it down to 1 decimal place because that's what we report on. And so for language arts, 43.1% were proficient in 2021, in math 39%, and in science 43.7%. Remember that yours will be different because you have the filters, so you're only seeing your LEA where I'm aggregating at the whole state. Some other things you can do we can go to the tooltip, and that's what showed up when we hover over, and we can actually edit this. So we could have it say, instead of average is proficient, you could change this to say percent proficient. Maybe. Percent proficient. I also personally only do one space after, and I make everything all black. And then, so now it just says percent proficient instead of average is proficient. Another thing you can do is, if you don't want it to just
Lindsay, there's a question. What did you hover over to get that box?
So when you hover over your visualization, it pulls up. To pull up the text, you go to tooltip. Ask Ollie. So does everyone see that? It's just in the tooltip. And then you can change what happened, like what you see when you hover over. You can also change the axis title. So we can also change this to say percent proficient. And we can change it to be automatic or fixed. So if you want it to automatically be on a scale from 0 to 100. And if you want it to go by, let's say 20s instead of 10s, then you can do all that. Okay. So that was I went over to the title and to the axis, and I right clicked and I went to edit axis. And that has all of my options for my title. I can add a subtitle. I can edit the axis. Are there any questions about that part?
There are not any questions in the chat right now.
Okay, perfect. And then you can also change the color. You could, if you want every subject area to be different, then you can. So if you're going to take subject area from where it exists already on the dashboard, then you need to hold down your control key before you click. So hold down your control key, click on subject area, and drag it to color, and that will keep it so that it keeps it where it is and drags it over. And then that way you can have a different color for each of your categories. You do not have to do that, but if you need something illustrated by different colors, you could do that.
Does it allow you, Lindsay, does it allow you to alias the subject area?
Oh, I was gonna look at that. Let's see.
The other option besides control click, you can actually go back over to the list on the side there where Lindsay is showing, and click on subject area and drag it over to color. So you don't have to pull it from your column shelf at the top there. You can pull it from the side.
I'm not seeing an alias. That's where it would be, right? I know.
There's a question too, if these things will work on a Mac, and they say they can't control click on the computer and move it. So what sort of workarounds are there for that?
Yeah, that's it should work on a Mac. Just you can't do the control click.
You just have to drag it over.
Drag it
here.
again from over in the list over to the color.
So instead of just doing the control like I did, you would just grab it from over here like I did the first time and just drag it straight to color. Let's see. I didn't see alias there, but I wonder if I can alias it here. I don't think I can. No, okay, so yeah, you can't actually change the names on these on online. Okay, so there we have subject area, average percent proficient. Now you can come down here, and this first one with the plus sign is a new sheet, so we can click on that. I'm going to drag school year up again. Ooh, actually. Okay, I'll do it on the next one. I'm going to do, hit okay. And then show filter, do the same thing I did last time, just to get practice. But what we actually could have done, and we should have done on the first one, is on the caret, after we did this, you can do apply to worksheets, and you can do all using this data source, and then it will automatically apply it to all your sheets. So that's the better way to do it. So you go to the caret, apply to worksheets, and all using this data source. Okay, so now if we do test name, and then we're going to do skill score, and we're going to drag it up here. And instead of sum, we're going to click on sum and change this to average. Okay, and here is our average skill score for each of these. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I only want to look at one at a time. Okay, not right now. No, you're gonna have to wait. So test name, I'm gonna do my drag again. And I'm only going to show one of these at a time. And then we're going to show it again over here. And we'll do our single value drop down again. Okay, so, and then I'm going to change this actually to, so take this where it is on rows, don't hold the control down, just take it off and drop it on label. Then we can drag this over and make it bigger. And I don't know if we have a fit to view on here, do we, David?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna add one more filter. And we're going to do
Lindsay, there was a
subject.
question. If you
Yeah.
can slow down just a little bit and show that
Yes.
again, what you just did.
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll just clear this sheet. Okay, so school year, and then this is where I did the apply to worksheet, all using this data source. So that should be on. Then we're doing test name. Okay, and I'm going to look at 3rd grade language arts. I'm doing this a little out of order, but it will still work. And hit OK. And then show filter. Okay, and then we change this also to our single value drop down. And I have it on 3rd grade language arts. Okay. Now I have test name also up here on column. And then I'm going to scroll down to scale score and put that on text. Does everyone have that? Okay, so are we good? Everyone have it this time?
I don't see any other comments coming in chat, so I would assume that we are good right now.
Okay, the last thing we need to do is we're changing this from a sum, go to measure, and we're changing it to average. Okay, I stretched this to make it a little wider. And I just did that by just going to the right side and dragging it over. And then I go to text, edit text. And then I highlighted this and I changed it from a 9 to a 16, just to make it a little bigger. And we can actually even, I think we actually even made it bigger. Let's go to like 24. Okay, now the one last filter I said we were going to add is go to subject area. We're going to drag that onto filters. And just hit OK. It's only showing language arts because I have the test 3rd grade language arts up. And then we're going to hit show filter. Single value drop down. And you want it to, so it's going to bring all of these in because you're showing a filter. You only need L, M, and S. So we're going to go to L. Are we good with that? Did everyone get that one that I did?
I think we're good, Lindsay.
Good. Okay. So now you're going to go to test name filter that we already showed. And this is where I said I did it a little out of order. And hit this caret. And you're going to scroll down to only relevant values. And you're going to click that. So that was on the test name one, the test name filter. You hit the caret and go to only relevant values. And I don't know if it's going to let me. Oh, it did. Okay, it worked. So that way, if you change this to math, it's only going to bring up the tests that are math. And then if we change it back to language, it will only have our language tests. Okay. Now, we're going to go down to sheet 2 and right click it. And we're going to hit duplicate. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here just to make it easy. And I'm going to right click on sheet 2 again and rename this to ELA. And then my duplicated one, I'm going to rename as math. Okay, are we good with that? Okay, and now we're just going to go to this filter right here and switch this to math and 3rd grade math. And then we're going to go down and we're going to duplicate this one to make a science one. Oop, I made it 2 on accident. So we're going to delete that one. And then we're going to rename this one science. And then we're going to change the subject area to science. Ooh. And we're going to actually change all of these to 4th grade because I wasn't thinking that 3rd grade doesn't have science. So go back to all of them, you change it to 4th grade. Okay, are we good?
I don't see any questions.
Any
in
questions?
chat. Nope.
Okay. Okay. From there, we're going to go to the second one down here that says new dashboard. And this is just, you know, like kind of to help you get a basic idea. It's not supposed to be anything super fancy or anything like that. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a vertical box and drag it over. So it has objects and vertical. I'm going to drag it over. And then I'm going to take another vertical one and just do the top half. So you just kind of have to drag it over and lift it up a little till you see that it only is doing a half. Okay. And we're going to drop that in. I'm going to use this top, make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to drop my first sheet in there with my bar. And then we have our filters right here. Okay. We don't need this because it's already on there. And then we're going to switch this. So then click on the school year. Go to the caret and hit floating. And then that way you can move it up here to the top of your dashboard. And I just lost it. Okay, we're going to bring it up here to the top of the dashboard.
Lindsay, we have a request to do that again, please.
Okay. So you just go, just the floating part.
Whole thing, they said.
The whole thing. Okay.
Thank you.
So we're just going to go to clear dashboard. Okay, so vertical, we're going to start with objects and then go to vertical and drag it over. So we have a vertical box. Okay, we're going to take a second vertical object and move it, drag it over and then lift it up a little so that we only get it on that top half. It's going to divide it pretty evenly, but I want that top graph to be a little bigger than my text. So I'm just going to drag it down a little and make it a little bigger. Okay, now you have your box to put your graph in. I'm going to take my sheet 1 and I'm going to drag it into that box. It will turn gray. It's going to fill up the whole box. Okay. I clicked on this subject area filter, or I guess legend. I don't need that because I already have the LMS right there at the bottom. So I'm just going to close out of this one and get rid of it. Now I'm going to click on the school year and I'm going to hit the caret on the school year filter. And I'm going to go to floating. And that just makes it so that it's not like stuck right here or taking up space on the side. You can just set it right on top of the visualization.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to jump in. I thank you guys for being patient with me. So that I got the little graph there, but below that, where you had the things below where you picked the school year, how did you get that again?
So it automatically came on when I dragged on the visualization.
Okay, show me sorry, your screen's shrunk again and I forgot my reading glasses.
No, you're good. So it's the sheet, it's the over here on the left.
Okay.
I'll have to go over here where it says sheet 1.
Yep.
I just dragged that over.
Yeah, I did that.
So when you do that, it brings everything from that sheet. So if we go back to sheet 1, it's going to bring this over.
Yeah, it did that.
As well as these things right here.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So, and it might not take them down to the bottom. It might put them over on the right side.
Okay.
So it might, if I go to the dashboard, it might default them like right here.
Oh, let me look there. Okay.
And you do the same thing. It's just putting it just kind of is depending how your screen is set up, like, and what else you have open.
Thank you.
And then, okay, so now we have a box down here. And I'm going to drag my 3 so you can drag your ELA just so it takes up the whole thing. And then math, you just want to go so it's, you want this one right here. Okay. And then last with science, you want it to do the same thing. Just like that. Okay. Does everyone have that so far?
I don't see any other questions, Lindsay.
Okay, perfect. So now the first thing we're going to do is let's fix some of these filters. Okay, we have this filter on here 3 times. We don't need it actually at all. So we're going to close all the subject area filters. Okay, and then, ooh, actually, I hope we can do what I want to do, because if not, we need the subject area filter. And then we only need, no. We're going to take these off because we're only going to show 4th grade right now. We're not going to do these filters because I think it's just going to give us problems. So we're going to get rid of all those filters. The only thing we're going to worry about is school year. We're only going to be looking at 4th graders. If you don't have 4th graders, you know, you pick, I'm sure, pick a grade that you have. Okay. And now we're going to come down here, go to science. Ooh, I don't, oh, that's not that one. Okay.
I want to get water milk.
Okay, get a lot of them out.
Water
I don't see it. Do you, David? I was looking to select the container, but
Get
it's
the water tins out.
not right now.
Please get
In
the
a
water
minute.
tins out.
In a minute.
Please,
In a minute.
please.
Which container?
Put the water tins
I was
out.
trying to select the one that I had these in,
Put the
but
water tins out. Please
If you,
get the
it's right there. It says select
water-
container tiled.
Get the water tins out.
what is that?
Get the water tins
Try
out.
no.
Out.
Down towards the bottom.
Get the
Yeah,
other
This is,
tins
I didn't make a
out.
separate box though, so that's, it's not
Oh.
gonna work.
Is it-
Try, not right now.
Drag a
Tins out. Like, oh,
drag a second vertical box down below.
and a green tip and a blue tip.
Okay, so really
Right,
quick,
Mom. Right, I want you to get out.
okay, so let's get rid of these, sorry, really quick. Get rid of those. Get another vertical box and drag it down to the bottom. Make this a little bigger. And then we're gonna drag ELA, math and science over again.
Out. Oh, it's in mine.
Oh, in a minute. And then science. And then again, we're going to get rid of all of these. You can actually just click the whole thing and hit the blue X since we're getting rid of all of them. And then we're going to go down here. And so click on one of them. It shouldn't matter which one, just one of these three. Click the caret and then select container. No, it did it again. Okay, we're just gonna have to adjust it manually then. So usually you can select this container and then you can distribute them evenly. But it's gonna be, and then we want them to line up. I was trying to line them up right underneath each of these. So we're gonna take a horizontal. Nope, we're gonna have to do a vertical. And we're gonna put it down here. Oh, come on. Actually, let's just do a blank one. Oh, it doesn't want to let me. That's why. Here's the container. Okay, so did everyone see how I'm just kind of dragging it into that one with the others? Now they're all in one. And now we can do distribute contents evenly. And then I can go in and add another vertical. Maybe. For a blank. Can add in a blank one. And then ooh, I did distribute contents evenly, huh? Let's see. I want it to be outside of this one, but I don't know if it will let me. Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of playing around trying to get it to work. uncheck that. And then I'm just going to line that up with the axis. And then I'm just going to drag these over. What the? And we'll add a blank in right here. There we go. So I just I ended up unselecting the distribute contents evenly, and I'm taking a blank one and I'm just putting it in between all of them so that I can line it up underneath its bar. But anyway, the point really for this is to just show you that you can make multiple visualizations and then you can actually like put them all together in one dashboard. So you don't just have to like just show a bar graph. You could also, if we go back to sheet 1, other options they have are line graphs. Obviously doesn't really work that well. They have maps. If you have a map that we would have in there, then you could use a map. Circles, things like that. But are there any questions?
I don't see any in the chat right now, Lindsay.
Okay, I think that was all we had. David, do you have anything you want to add? And Erin, anything you want to add?
Go ahead, David, and then I'll share something.
No, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Just sharing with the group as well. Tableau just had an update to its function on the server where we have a thing called Ask Data. They've now added a component to that called lenses. Lindsay, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I can go to that.
I'm sharing this with the group because this is brand new to us as well. If you just go back to,
I need to close out of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if you just click on any of the data sources,
I think this is the right one.
doesn't matter at the moment. But you see inside of there, it says ask data connection, so on and so forth. This is not showing the way mine is showing. Oh, there it is. So
It's right here.
if you click on that, if you go to the top left-hand side, it's actually, or right there, it's called lenses. This is brand new, unless David has already learned all about this stuff. We will be researching and putting those inside of there as well. These lenses, basically we look at the data set, we can go in and kind of pre-filter some commonly asked questions. This sometimes is a little bit faster and quicker than the process that Lindsay just took you through. I'm not saying it's better, it's just a different view. So I want to just bring this up that there is an ask data, and maybe what we'll do is we'll do a follow-up training once we've mastered that and put a few inside of there. But just know that this is another way to go in and look at the data beyond a data set. So if there's a quick question that you need to answer, and if we have our data sets connected in there, you should be able to go in there and pull that fairly quickly. So just sharing another cool tool that we're working on.
Unfortunately, with this particular data set, because we have the data filter on the back end, the option of data lenses are not available to it. We would have to create separate data sources.
Yeah, we'll be figuring it out as we move into. Thank you, David.
David, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to, if I can share my screen.
Do you want
for a
to share?
second.
Okay, yep, I'll stop sharing. Just to answer Julie's question, Julie, no, you won't be able to upload data from your own assessments. This is a server that allows like the creators on our end to load stuff, but you would actually have to have like a creator's license. If you have Tableau desktop that you have purchased, then you could download our data, how David showed you earlier, and then add your own data in your Tableau desktop and merge them together if you wanted.
Yeah, we would have to grant access to be able to publish. That is a possibility, but it's not set up for security at the moment.
Lindsay, do you also see the question from Emily? She's wondering, would you use a lens for maybe students who were here on October 1 or SPED students only?
Yeah, so we could do ones like that. Typically ones that we would use like through the Ask Data is something like filter by grade level. So the lens would be something like that would already have it broken down by grade level. Or like subject area. Things like that tend to be kind of like the larger things that we would put a lens on.
Okay, this is something that a way to actually fix that alias issue. Since it doesn't work on the server itself to click on it and alias it. So as you can see, like if we pull subject area out to rows, you only see a letter, right? But let's say you want to be able to see what the whole thing is. One way to do that, you come up here to where, let me see if I can make this bigger for you. So up here at the top, there's you click on data, and then you click on new data source. There's a couple different options along the top. On the site, files, connectors, I want to choose files. So I created a file in Excel that I can then drag and load it. So once that's done, as you can see, the columns that I created in the worksheet, I actually copied the name to match the name of the column in the data source that I'm trying to connect to. When you do that, Tableau automatically recognizes that there's a relationship between it, and you'll see this little icon on the side. And when it's active, it'll look that little, I guess it's orange. And then I created another column called description, where I can then grab it from there. And as you can see, I created one that just had L, M, and S in this case. So you can actually make it say English, language arts, science, mathematics, whatever you want it to say. So that's just one way to further refine your views. Any questions? Back to you, Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have any questions, I think that's all we have, Marie.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. And we will be sending out a recording of this. We'll also include Lindsay and David's emails. So if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for being here.